Hello, everyone. This is Atman Nityananda and his online spiritual academy, which I call Advaita Atma Yoga Academy. Welcome again. I would like today to present a very important means for self-realization, which is the repetition of mantras. Most of great teachers suggest for this age, for this modern civilization, for the people who live this age, in this age, to repeat as main practice, to repeat a mantra, usually a mantra of God's name, of the name of God, one of the names of God. God is one. However, we have given to this highest principle of life many names, although it is nameless. God is nameless, formless, and timeless, and is the ever-present silent space of consciousness within ourselves. There is not an entity which is God. God is not an entity. It is everything. And essentially is experienced as a silent presence full of peace, bliss, plenitude, and love without limits. God is love. There is not an entity which is full of love. Love is God itself. Peace is what we call God. God is a concept. God, okay, you can say that peace is a concept, but we experience this peace. But God, we don't experience God. We experience peace. We experience plenitude, freedom, and this is God. So mantra, although this principle of life, highest principle of life, is nameless and formless and timeless and spaceless, we have given to this principle various names, the sages most of all. So we can use these names because they are associated with this principle, and also they have a very high vibrational frequency. Because the word of gurus, of sages, is the word of God, what we call God, and his power, creative power. So these words called mantras can purify our mind and heart and help us connect with this principle, consciousness, and experience freedom, peace, and bliss. All these great teachers say that the human mind, the mind of modern human beings, is very conditioned, and most of the time is attached to something and agitated. It has difficulty to remain calm, serene, and focus steadily on the inner silence. And also has cannot discern this ever-present silent space of consciousness from the rest, from what we appear to be, what we believe and think to be, that is body, vital energy, emotional mind, thinking mind, intellect, subconscious mind, and causal body, which has as a center the ego. So the mind of people, of modern people, human beings, cannot discern this principle, which is ever present as the constant background of all experiences, of all our experiences. All our experiences appear in this silent space of consciousness, which is God itself in us. But we fail to recognize this because our mind is very, very conditioned. And the mantra is the means to purify our mind, to concentrate our mind, and realize this God consciousness. In my experience, in my practice, in my experience, the mantra is very powerful, and it's my main method of practice. I use the mantra for various purposes. I use the mantra for developing self-awareness, to remember to be aware of the inner silence and maintain the attitude, we would say the attitude of the observer or the witness of all psychological reactions and sensory experiences. I use the mantra to purify constantly our mind, my mind and heart and energy field. I use the mantra to develop love, devotion for the divine. I use the mantra to meditate. I use the mantra to dissolve egoistic tendencies. This is my my experience. In my case, I use other practices as well. Although repetition of mantra, which is named japa mantra, and japa means repetition. Japa mantra, repetition of the mantra. Japanama, repetition of one of God's name, of the names of God. Usually, mantras are names of God or refer to God, are related to God. What we call God. So I use the mantra as the main practice together, but together, along with the mantra, I use affirmations of my divine nature, like I am pure consciousness, Atman I am, peace I am, love I am. Also, this affirm these qualities of our divine nature: peace, love, light. Peace I am, love I am, light I am, pure consciousness I am, Atman I am, Om Atman, Om Atman, Om Atman. Repeating these affirmations with Om. Om is the original mantra we can say of God. Om. In Greek tradition, it is On. Very similar, you see? Om in Sanskrit. On in Greek. So I remind myself, I'm Atman. I'm not this body, mind, me entity. I'm man, Atman. Om Atman, Om Atman, Om Atman. Om, Om, Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya is the mantra of Shiva. What does it mean? What does it mean? I bow to the highest consciousness. Shiva is pure consciousness. What means Om Namah Shivaya? I bow. Nama. Om, I bow. Om is also Shiva, is Brahman, is God, everything. Om Namah Shivaya, I bow to this highest consciousness, the light of consciousness, which is what I am. So I bow, if you have this understanding, non-dual understanding, I bow to the light of consciousness in me. Or I bow to the light of consciousness I am. So Om Namah Shivaya, you can repeat the mantra, focusing on the sound. We say the mantra clearly and we hear the mantra clearly. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om. Or we can also concentrate on the meaning. I bow to the light of consciousness. I am. That I am. I bow the light of consciousness that I am. Short, I am. I bow the light of consciousness, I am. When I say Om Namah Shivaya, I mean this. I bow to the light of consciousness, I am. Who bows, what bows? My personality and ego. I bow to my own self. The external self, that is the body, mind, me entity, bows and surrender to the highest essential nature, Atman, Brahman. I'm Atman. You are Atman as well. But we have to realize it and live it fully, because if we only know mentally, intellectually that we are Atman, we suffer. We continue to suffer. We have to realize and establish ourselves to Atman. We can use any method, and mantra can be one of the major principal methods of practice. Of course, we can combine the mantra with other methods, as I said before, combine with affirmations of our true nature, combine the mantra with the practice which is called self-inquiry in a very practical way, not as a theory. Combine the mantra with breathing, breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. We can also repeat the mantra in resonance with the footsteps. Every step, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, steps. Om Namah Shivaya. 4 steps. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So that we create an association of the footsteps of the walking with the mantra, and also with the silence. We don't say the mantra mechanically, just because we have to do it, or because the teacher has said like this to repeat the mantra. We repeat the mantra practically to connect with the silence and experience peace. We repeat the mantra with the intention to purify our mind and heart. We repeat the mantra to concentrate our mind, to focus our mind on what we want, especially in this case, in the silent space within, or for me, it's the best point of concentration to connect with the inner silence, which is our true self. What else is better than this? Okay, some people concentrate on the third eye or heart chakra. We can use also like this, but after some time, we turn our attention in the silence. Okay, in the beginning, we can repeat the mantra, concentrating on the third eye chakra, heart chakra. Repeat Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And if we do this regularly and steadily, little by little, our mind becomes calm, serene. And the silent background of consciousness becomes more and more obvious, appears in our awareness more clearly. If our mind becomes tense enough, then we can turn totally our attention to the silence. We leave the concentration on the chakra. We continue with the mantra, but we stay with the silence. At the end, we leave also the mantra, and we stay only with the silence. Great is the silence. Peace is the silence. Om is the silence. Everything is the silence. The silence appears as this world. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the voice of God. What is God? Peace. There is not an entity as God. God is peace, silence, plenitude, bliss, ananda. Ananda in Sanskrit. Ananda means bliss, peace, plenitude, love. I'm love divine. You are love divine. But you have to realize it. This is why we have taken this body, physical body, not to enjoy only the sense objects, which give little bit fleeting pleasure and much pain. In reality, pleasures are pain. But due to programming, because our mind and heart are conditioned by what we call egoistic tendencies, which have as sender what they have. What do you think? Lust. Lust. Not only for sex. Lust for sex, for food, for money, for any pleasant experience, for position, fame, possessions, power. I want to be the best. How many songs? I am the best, the more special being in this world. You are the more deluded one. Okay, you can sing, I am the best. Delusion is magnificent, wonderful. What a wonderful delusion. Are you happy? No, but I'm the best. Okay, occasionally I'm a little bit happy, but most of the time I live in misery. And I try to overcome this miserable state of being with pleasures. What a pity. You can find plenitude, fullness in your own soul, which is ever present and is obvious present. Obviously, it's present. It's not hidden. Your soul is here and now, ever present. But because of ignorance and because of attachment and desires in the form of lust, we fail to recognize it. And most of all, we fail to experience the beauty, plenitude, freedom, bliss, and the love we are. We live on the surface, body, mind, me, personality. We experience some kind of pleasure and a lot of pain and suffering. However, we insist to find happiness where there is only pleasure and pain. This is the mystery of life, the great joke. We try to find happiness where it does not exist. Okay, if you think that enough of suffering, then if you feel that it's enough for you, you don't want more suffering, then you can take the name of God. It can take you in the other, how we say, to the other shore. We can cross the river to the other shore. I think it's like this, something. Right? What is the other shore? It is the abode of peace, love, ananda, bliss, freedom, and love. And what is the other one? The boat of pleasure and pain. What is called in spiritual language? Samsara. Samsara is the duality of pain, of pleasure and pain, and trifling, fleeting moments of peace, joy, and happiness. But I think at least this was my experience. Prevail pleasurable, pleasant moments or different moments where there is a little bit boredom. What I will do now? Something like this. And then we'll have also problems with our relationship partner, in relationships with co-workers, with the world in general. Our ego has various enemies and problems, most of them imaginary. And because we are so much identified with this mental, emotional creations of the ego, we don't see this clearly. We don't experience. Okay. So mantra is the best way in this age of Kali Yuga to liberate our mind and heart from all conditioning, to purify our mind and heart. In my case, I use mantras because I use various mantras, not only one mantra. Mantras and prayer are the most powerful ways to eliminate the egoic tendencies. I use prayer, mantras, and also positive or luminous affirmations to eliminate the ego. First is prayer with mantra, and then positive or luminous, better to say, affirmations like peace, love, light I am. I'm peace, love, and light. Om, peace, love, and light. Om, peace, love, and light. Om, peace, love, and light. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. Peace, love, and light I am. This person I see before of me, this person is peace, love, and light. I don't focus on his physical characteristics that attract my ego, which wants to see pleasure, something pleasurable or pleasant. That's why I repeat, I'm peace, love, and light. You are peace, love, and light. All is peace, love, and light. Only peace, love, and light exist. Om Namah Shivaya. And I combine mantra with these affirmations. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 peace, love, light I am. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, peace, love, light I am. So I do not give room to the mind to think about objects. But the problem is that we can prevent the ego to express, to manifest by doing like this. But since the ego is not only thinking, mainly it is energy, vital, emotional energy, and wants to experience itself, vibrations, wants to experience itself and experience vibrations that are of the same frequency. For example, our ego in the form of anger wants to experience anger. That's why it provokes the others to become angry. Then the anger of the other gives food to our anger. And we have a confrontation of two angry egos. My angry ego and your angry ego is fighting each other. And they feed themselves with this frequency of anger. So if we say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, peace, love, and light I am, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, peace, love, and light I am, and I feel this. So we live in another dimension and frequency. But since this energy of ego is very strong in us, that's why it wants to express itself. And then after some time, it looks for opportunities. And also there is anger disconnected, associated with other egoistic tendencies like lust, most of all. Lust is the first cause of anger. It's not fear, as most of spiritual teachers and psychologists say that fear is behind anger. Lust is behind anger, and attachment, desire, lust, attachment are behind or the original cause of anger, as it is for fear. The original cause of fear is attachment, desire, and identification. All kinds of egoic tendencies are only extensions, we could say extensions or modifications of desire itself. Ego is desire. They are not two different elements, ego and desire. Ego is desiring. And the worst aspect of desire is lust. We have a lot of lust. Lust for pleasures, most of all. Drink, eat, sex, smoke, lust. That's why we very easily become irritated. Lust is behind this irritation and anger. And the most we lose sexual energy through, the easier it becomes to become irritated. We lose the highest power. Unfortunately, we are so conditioned by this lust, but also we are deluded by the belief that it is something natural. No, it's not natural to lose your energy oftenly at all. Eating is natural, but this does not mean that you have to eat all the time because it's natural. Similarly, sex is natural, but to involve in this action with this frequency and this way is not natural at all. Okay, you have a little bit pleasure and you think that you enjoy your life, but in reality you create the suffering. And then you say, why I suffer now? What is the problem? And what is the connection of lust with suffering? This is another topic. Everything, all egoistic tendencies and what we call egoic self, the origin cause is lust. Original. So, with the power of mantra, we can dissolve all these tendencies. However, it needs time. We cannot achieve this since this energetic body, subtle body of tendencies. Tendencies is not points. Here a tendency, here a tendency. It is a cuerpo in Espanol. A body. It's an energetic body. Kama manas, it is called kama manas in Theosophy. Blavatsky called this kama manas. It is a body, energetic body. All this fear, anger, lust, jealousy, envy is an energetic body which must be dissolved. We must dissolve this body if you want to live the freedom of being. If you want to live in joy, in happiness, in love, with everything. And this wants disciplines, dedication and devotion, patience and perseverance, and determination and faith. Have faith to the name of God that can help you cross the river of Maya and reach the abode of peace, love, harmony, and bliss. Have faith to the words of the great enlightened beings that said that the name of God is the highest, and you can, through the name of God, purify your mind and heart and realize God consciousness. This God consciousness is here and now present. It is always present in us. There is the only thing that exists in all times, in all places, in all states of consciousness. The only one principle which is ever present is this silent space of consciousness. And this is what we really are. But in order to experience fully and constantly this peace and bliss eternal, we have to purify our mind and heart and become like children, as Jesus Christ said 2,000 years ago. And this is truth even today. We must become, I say, not children, babies. Because children are not so innocent as before. We must become innocent like babies. If we want to live in freedom, peace, love, and bliss without limits. And the mantra is the means. The power of mantra can liberate our mind and heart. I don't say liberate us, because we are already free. Because we are not this body, mind, me entity. This body, mind, me entity, and especially the mind and heart are conditioned. But we ask the consciousness, which is our true nature, is unconditional. Are always free and peaceful and blissful and loveful. What we really love is this, our true nature. But due to lust, we project this love to the physical vehicle. In reality, sexual energy, it is an expression of this divine love. But lust distorts the sexual energy and the sexual behavior, or the sexual behavior and energy as well. And we cannot make love in love with harmony. We make love passionate or perverse love. Dual. Passionate. Okay, occasionally we also, there is a mixture of, we can also have positive feelings. But in reality, what prevails is lust, passion. And we have also, I speak about myself. And that's why we cannot experience sexuality in a very harmonious and sattvic way. Then it becomes devotion to the divinity. But this is difficult to accomplish because of lust. So mantra, use the mantra to liberate your mind and heart from all tendencies and experience more and more the divine peace, love, and light in your heart. Heart is the center of your being, of your existence. Live in peace, love, and light. Transform your mind and heart in peace, love, and light. Experience moment to moment the peace, love, and light you are as consciousness. And mantra can be one of the main means to accomplish this endeavor. You are children of light, but you have forgotten this due to lust for sensory pleasures and experiences. We have forgotten this. And we seek a little bit fleeting pleasure instead of seeking eternal, infinite bliss and plenitude and freedom. We are so deluded by the senses But the senses in themselves, the problem are not the senses. It's the lust within us that uses the senses to experience vibrational frequency and energy similar to it. Because they are created, these tendencies, egoistic tendencies, have been created from the connection of the mind with the sensory objects through the senses. What was the first experience? Symbolically, of course. The apple of paradise. Adam ate the apple, sense object, apple, because of desire, and this provoked the fallen. These human beings of that era, there were not only Eva in Greek, Eve, and Adam. There was a humanity, and symbolically it was only Adam and Eve, and ate the apple. The apple, all people of that age have eaten the apple of paradise, the forbidden apple. And from that time, we have lost the awareness of our divine essence and live as body, mind, me entity. It is time to return to our original home. Of course, not for all, for some. And so I speak to them, to you. Are you ready? Have the call of your divine essence. Have you heard the call? Have you felt the voice, the call of your divine essence? Or you want to continue in samsara? So this teaching is not for all. It is for all that are ready to flourish, are ready to take the path of peace, love, and light, what we call spiritual path, to connect consciously with the divine peace, love, and light in our heart, and live fully this peace, love, and light, and transform the whole universe. We are transformers. Anyway, we are transformers. We transform energies constantly. The problem is that we transform the energies in a very insufficient way that provokes suffering and does not create something superior. So the point is to transform, to become conscious transformers and transform our system, our psyche, from this heavy vibrational frequency that vibrates our system, our psyche, to high luminous sattvic vibrational frequency. Our inner bodies to become luminous, to radiate peace, love, and light. And this can be achieved by a conscious process, which we call spiritual life and practice. So mantra is one of the main means of this spiritual practice. And this is my experience. This is what the great teachers say, and this is my experience. I have used the mantra. I'm in this path 31 years. And I started to use the mantra from the very beginning, but more consistently and systematically after 10 years. That means 20 years ago. I started to use the mantra more systematically. And that's why my life, my inner life, have changed totally and completely. One of the main factors that have caused great changes in my psyche, it is the repetition of mantras. I'm grateful that I met my beloved teacher, master, Harakam Babaji, who said that repeat Om Namah Shivaya and you can defeat death. And realize God consciousness. And I did it. And I continue to do it. And I am very grateful. So I share this, my experience, and I recommend all of you that you want to have a significant progress in your path. That means to purify your mind and heart and develop the sattvic qualities of mind and heart, to use the mantras as a tool, as the principal tool of your practice. And I will finish with this. I will finish this presentation to remind you that that I use the mantra to maintain conscious awareness, contact with inner silence, not to forget my inner self. It is like a reminder. I use the mantra to maintain high frequency vibration of my energetic emotional field and mind as well. We could say the mental body, the emotional body, the vital body, to maintain a high vibrational state, or in Sanskrit, sattvic state. I use the mantra to eliminate, to diminish, to burn to some degree the egoic tendency that may arise in my psyche. The moment that arises this egoic element, I use the mantra to dissolve it, together with a prayer to the Divine Mother, both together. And I use the mantra to meditate, to remind myself first thing, to remind myself, remain conscious, in conscious contact with the inner silence, moment to moment, to meditate, seated meditation, to purify constantly. The mantra purifies our mind and heart and vital energy, to dissolve the egoic tendencies whenever they manifest in my psyche. I use the mantra to dissolve them. I use the mantra in a devotional way to express my devotion and love to the divine. And I don't do this in a state of duality. This is a little bit incomprehensible for the non-dual teachers. Say, how you can express devotion for something that you already are. It is possible. It's not so easy to explain this, to transmit this through words, but it happens. It's possible. there is the non-dual devotion, you would say. And this is not only my idea. This says also Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi, one of the great non-dual teachers, said that there are two kinds, of course, of aspirants, of devotees. One who is of the lower, we could say lower level, who perceives God as something separate from him or from her, and the one who has a more developed consciousness and understanding and perceives God as himself. And the second one, it is the most complete way of devotion, to celebrate and express devotion, love for the divine in the understanding and experience of union, not of separateness. Okay, until this moment will come of express our devotion, love to the divine in the state of non-dual devotion, we can do it in the state of dual devotion. And as our mind and heart becomes purer and purer, then little by little we can reach this state of non-dual devotion. It's all is a matter of practice. And this practice has as the basis, foundation, the deep longing for freedom, love, and peace, and truth. This is the necessary prerequisite to apply ourselves in systematic, sincere, systematic, constant practice to realize our true nature and live in conscious union with this moment to moment, not for some time, not moment to moment, every moment. I wish you peace, love, and light. I wish you to realize your true nature in this very life and live it fully. And I suggest you to do the best you can, to live consciously moment to moment. And the best way to achieve this is to use a mantra like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, peace, love, I am, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, peace, love, I am, non-stopping. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, except when you do something, a mental work or something like this, we try all the rest of the time to repeat the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and connect with the silent presence within us, not only mechanically. Om Namah Shivaya, and get in the silence. Om Namah Shivaya. Silence I am, peace I am, Om I am. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Peace I am. Remind yourself, peace I am. I'm not this body. Peace I am. Peace I am. Silence I am. Practice makes us perfect. We are perfect as consciousness, but also our mind to become perfect as consciousness. How is this possible? When our mind, through deep, constant meditation, identifies completely with consciousness, then it becomes like consciousness. And when it is free, our mind at all levels, let's say mind, heart, all these levels, are totally free from egoistic energies and rajasic, tamasic, the rajasic and tamasic qualities, and the mind is totally united with consciousness, then becomes a perfect mind. I wish you peace, love, and light. Namaste.